We don't know that we think differently on everything.
No. So let's go over some things.
Sure.
You sit down, yeah. You sit down, yeah.
Welcome back to Unwoken, the number one podcast in the world for young conservative media, and that's a fact. That's my facts,
That's
of course.
a fact.
My facts.
That's a fact.
We're here with Big Ray. Big day because we actually have somebody who thinks differently than me, who has the balls to sit down in the chair.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm wondering, but I'm here.
That's my cousin from Chicago, sitting down in the chair. But notice, we have Ditka right there as a sign of peace.
Absolutely.
Whenever Ditka's around, peace is in order.
Yeah. Do I sound like I have a
Preach it.
Chicago accent?
Certain words.
Do I sound like it?
Certain words.
Not totally.
Well, it's like the come on, you know.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Cut the subject because
We were talking about it
I
earlier.
will be a fucking idiot.
Ray goes, all right, don't get some sports. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No. We can talk about other things. We can talk about other things.
Do you align more with the blue dog Democrats, the more moderate, or do you go a little bit more to the left of that?
Actually, that's a good question. Probably more to the left.
Yeah.
More to the left. I would say that it would depend on what it was.
If you're going to call yourself a constitutional conservative, that means you believe in the most limited form of government possible, right?
Yeah.
I don't want the government telling me what to do with my body.
Well, that's true.
And that's why people can't get me on social media, because I'm consistent.
Well, because you are you're pushing the envelope there a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By being that way. Because actually, basically the right, or if you can say the right and Republicans, if you're not, separating them, they want limited government, I guess.
Yeah,
whereas
that's the whole principle.
people like me are maybe more into the government being involved.
Social programs.
Post office, Social Security, which everybody loves.
Guns.
Guns are for hunting. People hunt, go for it, go hunt. And if you want to kill and eat it, that's totally fine with me. I don't like handguns per se. I come from a city that there's a lot of gang shootings. And I just think handguns are not to be in people's hands. I don't care about rifles as much or other kind of guns if people want to use them. But I think the handgun thing is out of control. It's just out of control.
Because you can't see it.
Well, look, I live in the city.
Yeah.
I don't live in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe if I lived in the country, I wouldn't feel like that. Maybe I'd want that protection, have that arsenal or whatever. But living in the city, I don't feel that way.
Now, how hard is it to get a concealed carry license in Chicago?
How hard is it to get a concealed carry license? This is a question that I would honestly say I am not equipped to give the right answer because I don't have a gun.
Yeah.
I've never researched it. I don't know if it's hard to get a concealed carry or if you have to go through all kinds of background checks or whatever. Do you know if it's hard?
I know down here you have to go through the background check. It's not. We grow up around down here. My dad, Dad was from Chicago. I didn't go hunting,
Right.
but I learned how to shoot at a young age.
Right.
Learned how to work a gun.
Right.
Learned the safety measures of it. And
Sure.
it's not a toy. That's the first thing we're
it's
taught.
not a toy.
I mean, it's not a toy. We don't mess around like that. And I have a lot of buddies in the gun industry. And when it comes down to that, there's every single precaution. Now, from a personal experience, when we're talking about Chicago, because, the firearm problem is a big thing. On my end, the way I view it is Chicago and L.A. have some of the strictest gun laws in the country.
Right.
I'd feel more comfortable seeing a law-abiding citizen with a waist piece
Right.
walking next to me than walking down Michigan Avenue completely naked.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's just my thing, because criminals are always going to get guns at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's my way of thinking,
Okay.
because you're not going to stop them. I mean,
Okay.
there's no way in hell that all these gang-related shootings, everybody has a license to carry a firearm.
Well, what about people who are unbalanced?
Oh, yeah, you need to have. Oh, I will. Hey, I'll agree. I'll meet you right in the middle every single time when we say about the mental health checks and the background checks. Well, 100% agree with background checks.
Right.
For sure. I don't think you should take away certain guns.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe if you want to make sure somebody's mentally stable to
Right.
handle a firearm,
Right.
I'm all for that.
Okay.
And I'll meet you in the middle there, but you got to meet me in the middle and say, all right, then at that point, we're not going to say we want to take away AR-15s, which aren't an automatic rifle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. AR doesn't stand for automatic rifle.
Okay. It doesn't.
No, sir.
Okay.
I mean, we can meet in the middle on the background check thing. I'll have no
Right,
problem.
that's good.
I have
That's
no
good.
no problem doing
I'm
that.
okay with background checks. I'm good with that.
All right. So, what do you think about corporate tax rate?
Corporate tax rate.
So, how it was 37.5 under President Obama. Then Trump dropped it down to 21.
I'm aware that certain facets of the population would like the tax rate to be lower on corporations, because corporations, I guess one side feels that possibly the corporations are too in control of the situation, and the other side feels that no, it's more for the people. You know, people are supposed to be a little bit more taken care of than they are. And corporate, which are all the big corporations, wield a little bit too much power. So I guess that I would feel taxing them more is not a bad thing, because I don't necessarily believe in the trickle-down policy.
Trickle down economics.
I do not believe in the trickle-down. We've had trickle-down since Reagan, I believe,
Yes, sir.
and
You
it
calling
hasn't really worked from what I understand.
I do like bringing down the corporate tax rate, because whenever you do that, you give these businesses an incentive to keep their factories in the United States, and that's what helps create the jobs. Whenever you tell them we're going to put 37.5% corporate tax rate on you, they can just go outsource all their production to China or somewhere outside of the country and make everything cheaper, and that's how we lose. But that's how we have Detroit, Flint, places like that. Brought back the Motor City. Was it all him? I mean, it was his policies that helped, and he met with a lot
But
of people.
Obama was behind that.
See, I can't agree with that.
Okay, well,
I don't know, because we were in a recession for a while. But Trump dropped that corporate tax rate down within his first 100 days. But let's go social issues. Social issues, because
Social issues.
that tends to be
Okay.
the main thing where we disagree on.
okay.
Not me and you, but our sides
Right,
disagree
the
on.
sides.
All right. Do you believe that there should be reparations for slavery?
Reparations for slavery?
Yeah.
I think that reparations for slavery is a fantasy. I really don't necessarily agree with reparations for slavery. So maybe I'm on that subject. Maybe I'm not.
That's a big thing.
Maybe I'm not as left wing as I think.
Well, because we weren't slave owners ever, and people today weren't slaves, and I think that's something. With my generation now has this kind of feeling towards themselves to where the words on a college campus. Let me tell you what the experience was like. You literally have checklists on microaggressions. Okay, you know what microaggressions are?
No, tell me.
A microaggression would be like me misgendering you, and you would they have cry closets. Okay. Not at UL, but around the country, a cry closet is where somebody who feels offended or has been triggered can go and cry in the middle of campus, and they use taxpayer dollars to fund these things.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you see, I get along with older Democrats. I don't get along with people in my generation who are liberals. That's my biggest thing. Whenever I'm talking about liberals on Facebook, I am strictly focusing on my generation.
I see.
The entire time.
Maybe then we could agree on certain
Oh
things.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we can agree on a lot of things.
I'm sure.
In terms of what about socialism, or democratic socialism,
Socialism.
like Bernie Sanders?
Well, Bernie Sanders has some good ideas. he might be very far to the left.
TPP was him and Trump agreed with trade.
Right, certain things. But I'm not familiar with what particular stance you're talking about with Bernie Sanders.
A democratic socialism form in terms of taxing the top 1%, the 90% that he wanted to tax them.
Well, 90% is over the top, I think.
Do you think that the billionaires in this country, whenever you hit that billionaire bracket, you should pay
I think they should pay more. I think they should pay more. How much more, though, is debatable.
Now, what if I was to tell you that that percentage of people already pay for more taxes than all of us do combined?
Yeah, that would have to be proven to me or, researched by me or something, because I don't really have any proof about that.
Yep.
Personally. I mean, I think they should pay more.
Oh, if you're making $1 billion.
I do. I think they should pay more.
I don't think that you should tax them 50% of their income.
Well, I'm not saying they should tax them 50%.
Oh, yeah. What would be?
But I think they should pay more.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you're making that much money, I agree with you there.
If you had to explain, how would you explain the difference between a Republican and a Democrat to somebody? Let's say you were explaining it to your child. How would you explain what is the difference?
Are we in the climate that we're in right now?
Sure,
are we going back to whenever y'all were?
No, we can be right now.
Right now? Son, we don't want the government getting in our business. You create your own fate. You control your future. You work hard. And look, man, I'm blessed to live the life I live. I really am. And I acknowledge that, But the thing is, we're raised in a way you're going to go, whatever you want to do in your life, you go after it, you grab it balls to the wall, man, take off, fucking run with it. A lot of people nowadays want to sit there and play the victim card on the left side. Now, unless you're like somebody like Nancy Pelosi who used to stand her ground, now they're realizing that, all right, if they want to win, they have to cater to that younger generation because the younger generation is so easily influenced. In the cancel culture idea of things, I don't think you make progress by canceling things out. I think you make progress by having a conversation, but it's literally a small group of individuals who get offended by everything, and we've catered our speech to that group. If we would have just said, okay, this offends you, man, just say, all right, I didn't know that hurt your feelings. I'll try not to say that in front of you. Now, if you're trying to dictate the way that I speak and tell me that I have to change my vocabulary and learn different words just to cater to your feelings, I will look you in the eyes and tell you to go fuck off.
Well, freedom of speech works both ways, Freedom of speech is freedom of speech.
And I don't think your freedom of speech should ever be taken away from you either. You have extremists on the left, extremists on the right. As bad as this is about to sound, the KKK has a freedom of speech too, just like the Black Panthers does. And their freedom of speech should not be trumped. Neither one of theirs should.
Well, but don't you think times have changed in some ways?
Don't
you think times have changed?
Times have changed, but the First Amendment is non-negotiable in my eyes.
Okay.
And I think it sets a dangerous precedent whenever we start to walk back towards it.
So you probably believe in privatizing a lot of things.
I do believe in privatizing.
Yeah, that's where we're different, definitely.
Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. That goes back to private insurance.
Don't agree with that. You probably do agree with it, but
private. If you can pay for it, man, that's private. It's your
but
it's your private
healthcare
life.
healthcare is a right.
Basic human right.
It's a basic human right.
But I don't think that you should have to pay for my healthcare.
Well,
I would rather not have healthcare than either one of you get taxed for me to have it.
Okay, that's fair, but I don't agree. I think it's a basic human right.
And if we could find a way to affordably pay for it, I would be willing. That'd be something that I would definitely be willing.
Okay.
To have.
Well, there's another gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Roe v. Wade is never going to be overturned. It's not going to happen.
How do you know?
They use that as a political talking point. That's all it is, to try to gain traction with evangelical voters or to rile up the base of liberal voters. It's not going to be overturned. The Supreme Court's job isn't to overturn things. They can revisit certain cases, but they're not going to overturn a major ruling like that.
One would hope not.
And look, that's one of the biggest things that gets me in trouble with my party is the fact that I am a pro-choice Republican. But you have to be consistent. And the way I would explain it to a child would be, all right, so I'm saying I'm a Reagan conservative, which means I believe in the most limited form of government possible. The most limited form. So I believe we need to have leaders when it comes down to foreign policy, military, things of that nature.
Let me just do a little right angle here. So did you happen to see the Academy Awards this year? Did you watch that?
Talking about the Will Smith slap?
Yeah. So where do you fall on that? I mean, what's your idea?
Jada Pinkett Smith is a toxic woman, and Will Smith needs help. I mean, dude, look, the reason I say she's a toxic woman is because she literally used this man as bait for her own show for that Red Tables talk, to let him know everything that went on. And the man he's lost his balls, is what I like to say. You hit a man that was smaller than you, okay? First of all, Chris Rock's about half your size. You were laughing. He was laughing at first, and then he got that look from Jada.
Right.
Like, you better do something,
right,
or I'm out of here.
Right.
That's whenever he walked up. No, man, it doesn't work like that. He should have been arrested. He should have been kicked out. Because all these little kids that are watching this on TV now, what kind of example does that set? And I loved Will Smith. I still do love Will Smith, but the man needs to get his balls back.
Well, I toast you on this one. We're in total agreement on this one. Because it was shocking to me. It was shocking to me that he just, was almost, there was like a vigilantism almost of what he did. And that he just, took it into his own hands. And they let him give that speech. They should have had him out of there. And he shouldn't have even been able to accept that Oscar.
Yeah, I think that whole, and we did a video about it. I think that situation pointed towards a bigger problem in today's society with my generation. So let's think back to, and they aren't old, folks. Ray ain't old. Ray, how old are you?
Not in spirit.
You're 39?
No. Yeah, 39.
39.
Again.
Ray's 39.
Yet again. No, I'm in my 60s, but I feel a lot younger in some ways.
That thing that's recording this beautifully edited and televised show, that beautiful piece of equipment right there, that's a problem in my generation when it comes down to dating. It is horrible because you see people now, they walk up, if they have the balls to walk up to a woman at a bar and say, hey, let me get your Snapchat. I've literally sat there before and heard that. I said, dude, you can get her Snapchat if you just get her fucking number. You get the same thing. I will walk up. Let me give you an example. If there's a beautiful woman that I see in that room, I'll walk up and I'll say, hey, what's your name? I won't even tell her mine unless I'm going, Scott Davis, it's damn good to meet you. And I'm on a roll that night.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll test it and say, hey, what's your name? And I won't give mine. And if she asks for my name after that, that tells me you're interested. This is women are they're complicated, but they're easy to understand once you understand them. And I've figured out the key to understanding women. It's a beautiful thing once you do it.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My life's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I live a great life, man.
All right.
I'm going to plead the fifth on the rest of that.
This is good.
But those things right there, as convenient as they are, definitely play. Look at how whenever y'all were growing up, dude, sometimes I wish I was back in the 80s. You know what? I would have joined Cobra Kai because Johnny Lawrence is the real Karate Kid, but that's on a completely different other subject here. No cell phones. Go back to the human interaction aspect. A lot of these kids for the pandemic, whenever we were closed down, think about it, man, how hard it is for them to have social skills whenever they go back to school. They've been behind tablets, behind Zooms for what, a year and a half, 2 years? Social interaction between children is going to be absolutely gone. And nowadays, people, whenever we were little kids growing up, we didn't have a tablet in front of our face to keep us occupied.
This is true.
Kids are 3 years old now with an iPad to keep them occupied. Bruh, you better go crawl or find a ball on the ground or something like that. Or you better stop crying because we'll give you a reason to cry. No, now if they don't have that iPad, dude, it really does blow my mind when it comes down to how people are utilizing technology. And I'm a big fan of it. I mean, I utilize it, obviously.
Right. Well, there's some good things about it.
But you have to have an escape from it. Whenever we go out to eat, me and my friends now, or we're at the bar, first thing I do is put my phone down in the middle of the table. And you better follow. Otherwise, I'm getting up from the table. We're not going to be on our phones whenever we're hanging out.
No, because the love of conversation has gone by the wayside. Or at least social interaction.
People need to get back. You got to be able to look somebody in the eyes and have a conversation. When it comes down to the social aspect of things, what's the biggest thing that you think should change that we need to work socially on in this country?
Socially?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
All right, so
Work on socially.
let's see.
I guess, acceptance. I know that sounds simplistic. Acceptance, getting along, being less divisive.
Tribalism, less tribalism.
Yeah, less tribalism or primitivism,
Yeah.
if you want to call it that. Realizing that we're really all in this together, in a way. And that would take care of a lot of it, if you could do that.
But it is complete and utter tribalism now.
It is. So you must love 70s music.
I do.
You do. Who's your favorite?
Jimi Hendrix, probably.
Jimi Hendrix.
In the 70s? Yeah. Let's think about it this way. So 70s, the Beatles were the 60s. Hendrix was more 70s. Van Halen was 80s. Motley Crue's 80s. Guns N' Roses is 80s. The 80s were, dude, let me tell you something. If I had a time machine, I'm going back to the 80s.
You going back to the 80s?
Oh, fucking right.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel the 60s was the best.
I'm going back to the 80s.
I feel the 60s. I have to argue with you there because the 60s had more variety, a little bit of everything in the 60s. Because you still had, believe it or not, Elvis. He was big in the 60s. You had still Sinatra at the height, who's one of the greatest,
the GOAT
singers of all time, in terms of his, his singing, telling a story, caring about the lyrics. And then you had groups like, Led Zeppelin, and you had the Singing Nun, which you are too young. I can honestly, happily say this, Scott. You are too young to know anything about the Singing Nun. See, now we're getting around to my territory, Scott.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Sinatra. You know Sinatra got pissed off at The Godfather?
Oh, yeah. They didn't get along at all. You talk about Sinatra and Brando?
Whenever, so that opening scene, whenever Johnny walks in, and he's like, what can I do? He's like, you can be a man. And he slaps him. Right. They said that was portrayed for Sinatra.
Yeah, they asked him to do it. They asked him to do it. He wouldn't do it.
No.
And, but did you know that in real life, Sinatra and Brando did not like each other? During Guys and Dolls, which is a film they both were in.
I didn't see that one.
Okay, Guys and Dolls is a musical from the 50s.
Musicals ain't my thing, bro. I'll tell you right now.
But I'm just telling you this story because they worked together. And actually, Sinatra was, of course, we all know, a great singer. And we all know that Brando was a great actor. But what did they do? Joseph Mankiewicz, who directed the film, he gave the singing part to Brando. Brando wasn't a singer. Brando was an actor. And Sinatra was really pissed off that he wasn't playing the part of Sky Masterson.
It's a low blow.
Who sings Luck Be a Lady Tonight. You'll have to see the film, Scott. But anyway, Frank Sinatra played Nathan, who's the comedic thing, and they did not get along because Sinatra was one take Frank. He did one take. in a scene, and that was his best take. And he didn't want to do take after take after take because he got worse and worse and worse as they were doing more takes. Brando was better on the 10th take or the 12th take than he was on the first take. So they did not get along.
And Brando was really young whenever they filmed The Godfather.
Brando was younger.
I think he was.
He
in
had
his,
makeup,
I
and
think he was in his 30s or 40s.
I think he wasn't
No,
in
I'm
his.
just-
No,
Yeah, let's
I
see.
don't think. Well, it would have been 1972. And when did Brando die? I'm not sure, but he might have been in his 40s. I'm guessing
47.
Brando was in his late 40s. There.
Yeah.
So he did he had to audition for that. I mean, with his name, because they wanted other actors doing it. They mentioned George C. Scott, remember, who played Patton, and they mentioned Laurence Olivier, the great British actor playing the Godfather.
Well, the
And,
director didn't even want to make the movie at first.
well, I mean, because he was, it was going to be an expensive movie for one thing. And that book was such a huge hit. Mario Puzo. That was such a big hit. And it was one of Coppola's first really big things. But honestly, Brando had to do his own makeup for his own audition, which he taped. And he put shoe polish in his hair, and he put cotton in his cheeks. And he became Don Corleone. He became the Godfather. But yeah, I don't think Sinatra would have ever done that role in The Godfather because he basically did not like Marlon Brando.
So when we were talking about the 60s music and the 70s.
Yes.
All right. Let me ask you this in terms of music now.
Okay.
So we already talked the 80s.
Yes.
I am a big old school rap guy. So my buddy was actually on the show. He just got his plaque from Spotify, hit 1 million downloads on the song.
Okay.
And he was we're sitting down here talking, and he goes, "Man," he goes, "I always want to ask you this." He goes, "You're not from the slums, you're not from the hood, but you listen to some dark rap music because there's a difference. You have Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Tupac. That's West Coast rap.
Okay.
Biggie, Nas.
No,
You know who Biggie Smalls is?
I've heard the name.
The Notorious B.I.G.
Okay, yep.
You know Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube.
Yep. I've heard that name.
So Biggie, let's see who you might know East Coast.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J is more southern. LL Cool J is Atlanta rap. So you have Atlanta rap, that's different from New York and Chicago rap. LA rap, which is different than all that. At Houston rap, which is completely different than Louisiana rap, which is a guy named Lil Boosie.
Okay.
Lil Boosie's the man.
Okay.
And Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's from Louisiana too.
Lil Wayne I've heard of.
So
right.
they're all different styles, but East Coast rap is 50 Cent, dark stuff,
Okay.
like shooting stuff and all that. But he goes, "Man," he goes, "you listen to that dark rap." He goes, "I always wondered why." I said, "Man, it tells a story."
Okay.
So rappers like that, the old school rappers, told a story.
I see.
These guys nowadays, man, get me a good beat, and I'll say mustard for 3 fucking minutes and make $1 million.
Yeah, I
I'll
know
do
that's
it. Put
pretty
me on auto tune, man. I'll do it.
It's pretty sad though.
It's not great,
It's very sad.
but that's why
To me.
it's shifting. Well, a lot of the musical
Extremely
landscape,
sad.
a lot of the musical landscape's shifting. So whenever I go to a party, if you give me the aux chord, we're putting on Rapper's Delight, we're putting on some Earth, Wind and Fire, and then we'll work our way up to NWA. Ice Cube as a single artist, though, as an individual artist, is better than every single one of them.
Well, I have to admit, again, like sports, I am out of my element with this conversation because I don't know that music. Other than I know when it comes on, I turn the channel or I change the channel. I don't like to hear it. It's noise to me.
Derogatory.
It's derogatory. My favorite is that Rihanna thing, "Bitch Better Give Me My Money."
Oh God.
That's one of my favorites.
I got a problem.
And
with all
I
of
mean,
it.
with lyrics like this, why are they even? Why is it music anyway?
I have a problem with a lot of it nowadays, especially, what they allow to happen on stage. Man, you shouldn't. If it's a award show that you're displaying, You don't have two girls humping each other on stage in front of little children.
No, I guess you don't. I missed that one though.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I missed the two girls humping each other.
Don't get me wrong. I love the sight, but I mean, dude, if we were little kids seeing that, my mom would cover our eyes. We couldn't. Now, not at the Motley Crue concert though. Now,
That's right.
That's a
right.
different story.
You were really corrupted
That's a different story.
as a child,
bro.
Taken to a
I
Motley Crue.
learned a lot of human anatomy that
A
day.
lot of stuff that day, huh?
A lot. Whenever I had sex ed, actually the next year, I already knew what I was looking for.
Wow, you're a fast learner.
I am.
You are a fast learner. Whoa, I could learn a few things. You know.
Hey, bro, I can write. I'm writing a book.
You are writing a book.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna get it published.
All right. I want an autographed copy.
I'm gonna have more research done tonight.
And what's it going to be about?
Try out a different form of lube.
A different form of lube?
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
I've been trying different ones to see which one was more effective when it comes down to water based, and there's a new one that actually has more water based product.
Have you figured out the answer, Scott?
I found one I like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it water-based?
It is water based.
It is.
Yeah.
Is it sticky?
No, it actually. You know what? This one actually isn't. This one actually isn't.
It is.
Because they have some. Do you have?
Does
you
it
have some.
evaporate?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't evaporate.
But there's a few of them in that are really damn sticky, bro. And it works for 5 seconds, and the next thing you know, you're in a position, you're stuck, bro. Like, how do you get this thing out? You need to get the butter.
Wow. You get the butter?
You got to get the butter, man.
Wow.
You can get yourself in a tight situation.
Unbelievable. Wow, you're just like, I don't know what to say to that. I really don't.
Sometimes
I'm just trying to imagine it.
Sometimes I find
problem.
it's best to just nod.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll just nod.
Just nod.
I'll just nod. Sounds good to me.
It's Festival International here in Lafayette, folks. So as many of you know, my dad was from Southside Chicago, Highland Park. And I have a lot. That's Southside. That's Southside, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's North.
That's the north side.
I am so sorry, Flynn. I told you my people ain't from your people's areas.
It's called the North Shore, Scott.
That's why he's a Sox fan, man.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
North Side Chicago. Higher. The upper echelon. But a lot of my family's from there, so Ray is part of the family. Butch is back there hiding. But we're here for Festival International, and they come down, man, and look, they got some pretty neat stuff. So I'm going to let him take over completely. I'm going to sit back and listen.
Okay. All right. That
Butch,
sounds good.
Butch, do you want to come hop on? I got my lap right here, brother.
No, that's okay.
I dressed as Santa Claus once, too. And Olaf,
Wow.
Olaf from Frozen, from Little Godchild's.
Wow.
But yeah, Ray, tell
Well,
us
you're
about
going to stick around, though, right? You're going to stick around. You're not going to leave.
You think I'm going to get up off my own show?
I would hope not. Oh, my God.
Sir, if I get up off this chair, everything just shuts down.
It shuts down. Right. All right. Well, so we're here to do the Festival International. And it opens this Friday. It opens tomorrow night and runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So 3 nights of nonstop music.
How long have you been doing this?
We have been doing this. This is only our second time, Scott, because there was a pandemic. And so none of us were working for a while. None of us artists who create things were working. We were out of work for almost 2 years. So this is our first time back. And we're excited to be back. And we're going to be in the same booth location that we were 3 years ago.
Did it give you a lot? So with that pandemic, did it give you a lot of time to come up with different ideas?
It did. And thank you for asking that. The truth of the matter is we weren't doing much of anything else except for coming up with new product ideas. And because these are all made from original pieces, we came up with the idea of doing 2 smaller pieces because it seems like younger people are more into smaller now. So we came up with a handbag or purse, if you want to call it, or tote.
Tote.
It's a tote with a Y on it. It's called a tote, and it's made from a CD cover. And that one is right here. And that's a Taylor Swift tote made from a CD cover, and then it has great designer fabrics on the inside and outside. It has a long strap, so you can wear it just on one arm very easily and keep just enough in there like your cell phone will fit in there. Or you can, slide the strap and it immediately becomes a crossbody. So younger women especially like that size.
So obviously this isn't something that I would wear, but
No.
I can tell by nowadays my generation, women go crazy for stuff like this. How did y'all come up? So who's the mastermind behind this product?
Well, the mastermind it's a split thing because both Butch and I, Butch is my partner who's sitting over there that refuses to, come over and be a part of this, but he's just as much of a mastermind because we saw a similar thing once a long time ago, and it was very badly done. It was horribly done, as a matter of fact. And I said, oh, we could do better than that, And so we did, and it took us about a couple of years to come up with everything and work it all out. We engineered it, Scott, so it would, look a certain way and be tough and strong and last and be kind of unique and something no one had done before. But this is a new addition to what we have done.
And think about it this way.
Yeah.
This would be a perfect idea for girls to go out with because the one thing, what do women bring whenever they go out? They would put their makeup, a little thing of lipstick,
sure.
cell phone,
Sure.
wallet.
Absolutely. If the wallet...
Did you say condom? Women don't carry that a lot now.
No?
A lot of girls say, I'm on the pill.
Oh, there you go.
But anyway, besides that point, that's a perfect thing for a girl in downtown Lafayette. That will fit the crowd that goes downtown Lafayette.
Yeah, it
For
will.
sure.
And they can wear it either way. It's a topic of conversation. We generally use, the CD covers that people love.
Have you tried to get that into stores yet?
No, we have never tried to get it into a store.
I think you should.
Well,
But you have to license, though.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I was approached many years ago by Shark Tank. And they came into our booth. Butch and I were in New York at Lincoln Center, and we were doing a show, and someone came in and said, you're really interesting. Like, we've never heard a salesperson like you, ever. And we'd like to have you on the show. And I said, oh, really? And he says, well, why do you seem so puzzled? Everybody wants to be on Shark Tank. And I said, well, I don't necessarily think I'd want to be on Shark Tank. And he says, well, why wouldn't you? This is big. This is a big thing. It's a popular show. People would do a lot of things to get on Shark Tank. And I said, well, we make our things uniquely. We make them from original pieces, and we probably wouldn't want to do that because the sharks want to make a lot of money, don't they?
Yeah, that's a lot of equity.
Isn't that why they're there, right? Because they make you an offer and give you a percentage, and you give them a percentage, and all these things. And I said, well, see, our stuff is unique, and the sharks want to copy it to make thousands of them. And our stuff is unique.
It could be a good marketing ploy, though.
It could be a good marketing ploy, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you another one, and that's this one. Okay, this is what we started with, which is this is our tote. This is our main large tote. So it has a front and it has a back, and this is the front and back of the album. Then there's some really beautiful home deck fabric on the side.
Let me go put that close to the camera.
And the instanced fabric, by the way. So when we set out to make this, and by the way, you can carry everything you own in this thing. This either is worn on one shoulder or the strap expands to crossbody, so it has a little bit of versatility. and we make these by hand. For one, we make them all by hand, and we couldn't make them that fast.
Can I answer why they
Yeah.
can't get the another bag like that?
Yes,
Because there's only one in the world, motherfuckers.
that's right. Just like he said. There's only one in the world because every single one has a different interior and exterior fabric. So when you purchase this, no one else gets it. And we give you the opportunity to actually go to our website, and there's a little card in that pocket.
And what's
inside
that
the bag.
website?
So rediscoverhandbags.com. You can check it out, and you can see a selection, and then contact us if you want something that's not on there or want something made especially for you. The reason this is one of a kind is because the next time I use this particular album cover and the back, I use a different fabric each time. So the fabric on the inside and the fabric on the outside are never duplicated from one bag to the next.
Howdy, gentlemen. Let me tell you something, bro. You know your women better than most. You know they lose their shit for this. You know it. So take full advantage of it, because that's one bag in the world that's on this desk.
They are all from, original album covers. We don't use copies with this. This is not a copy. This is the actual cover.
And it's made in the USA, correct?
And it's proudly,
Put the unbroken stamp down on it.
it's proudly made in the USA. Proudly. Yes,
In the U.S.
absolutely.
And so let me ask you,
Yeah.
what is the going price for the small tote?
Okay, so the little toadies,
Toady-
Totey, toady, because it's little, so we put a Y on there. The little toady is, think we sell them for around $79 to $89, and that is all handmade. Not something you can find in a store. You know, you're not going to find either of these at Walmart, right? You're not going to find them in a department store. And then we have another size bag, and this size bag is from all of you who are old enough to remember. And Scott, you may even remember this.
That's a sick interior.
This is an unbelievable little bag here. This is a 45 RPM picture sleeve. Now, those were called singles because the artist would come out with a single and they would do a side A and a side B. So ZZ Top put this out as a single. This is called Tush.
Tush.
ZZ Top. And we actually had a little interesting story for you with this. Is we made a large bag like this from a ZZ Top album that was purchased by the late Dusty Hill's wife. So she had seen it because we were supposed to be in Woodland Hills in Texas, and we couldn't go because of the pandemic. And she contacted us and said, "Hey, what's with that ZZ Top bag? You know, I'm Charlene, and I want you to call me Chuck." And I said, "Chuck?" And she says, "Yeah, you can call me Chuck. Well, I'm married to Dusty Hill from ZZ Top, and I want to buy that for him for Christmas." So she bought a large ZZ Top bag from us, and she presented it to Dusty, and he cried and got all emotional. And then just a few months later, he passed away.
Man.
Yeah, it was kind of a touching thought that he actually saw our work
And loved
from
it.
an album he created and loved it, by the way. So this little tush is a 45 RPM picture sleeve that would have been for the single of that particular song.
And these are all from your personal collection of albums on.
Well, yeah, they're all from things that I acquire. Some of them are my personal collection, and then some of them are just my personal collection, and they stay in my personal collection.
Is it
and
hard
then
to let
some
go?
we make.
Is it hard to let go sometimes whenever you're
It's
making
hard to let go when it's your baby. You know, it's hard to let go when it's your baby because you fall in love with them. You fall in love with the way they look, or
What was the
what it
hardest
means.
album you had to incorporate?
Part with? Wow, that's really hard because, you know, I probably would still have it in my collection. I probably wouldn't have parted with it, so I don't know. I don't know what that would be.
I still have the first
know.
explicit CD my mom allowed me to get.
Oh, explicit.
Little John Crunk Juice.
So what is the street we're actually on? Do you remember what's Vermilion?
Oh, on Vermilion. Oh, that's right on U.S. campus.
It's where it's.
Well, we're right across from a restaurant. I know.
Oh, yeah. Yo,
Very near a
so
restaurant.
they're going to be right across from Agave downtown.
There you
Okay?
go.
Right across. Look for two slick son of a guns. You'll probably hear the Chicago accent.
Yeah, you'll definitely hear
You'll
it
hear
from
the
me.
Chicago accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll hear- yeah.
Fuck.
It is, can I say this? It is booth 8. It's booth 8. And you're going to see us, and we're the only ones at the show who do anything like this. Anything in your wildest imagination. And remember, again, if you don't like what you see in the booth, please ask us. And if you don't see anything you like, we will create it for you, just for you.
Booth 8, right across from Agave. Y'all know y'all going to drink some damn margaritas over there.
We've been talking a long time.
Almost 2 hours.
Wow. It seems like it's flown by.
I told you it was fun, man.
It is fun. I really didn't think I could even handle it this well, to be perfectly honest.
This has been a very interesting,
Wow.
a very, very, very long, that's what she said, very, very interesting podcast. But this has been actually one of the funnest episodes I've ever done, man.
Thank you.
And this is actually
Wow.
episode,
well, it's fun for me.
This is episode 55.
Wow. 50. Congratulations
Yes, sir.
on 55.
My man.
And
that's
I
family right
appreciate
there,
it.
man.
I appreciate it.
Y'all remember to go
Yeah.
check out Ray and Butch this weekend at 10-8.
Yeah. Booth 8.
Booth 8. Booth 8.
Off of, I think it's Vermilion by
Vermilion,
the
right
Agave.
across from Agave.
And it's Rediscover Handbags. And
Rediscover handbag.
come on by and check it out and have a trip down memory lane. It's going to bring back lots of good memories for you. And we'd like to make something especially for you. Or have something in the booth that catches your eye.
Yeah. Y'all got to go check them out, man. They're geniuses. Brilliant. And they're from Chicago, so they're only here for a limited time. So you better go check my boys out. Well, that's family right here, man. They're awesome. So good to fucking have you, brother.
Thanks,
I love
Scott.
you, my man.
Thanks. Love you too.
As always, folks, this is Ray. I'm Scott Davis. This is Unwoken. God bless, take care, and I'll see your asses next week. That's a wrap.
Whoa. Unbelievable. That was really something.
You sit up.